Welcome to the new part in our web development course, guys. Now I will talk about the CSS section. That section will help us to improve our websites and give some more functions, give some more just style, and that's why I'm going to talk about the CSS firstly. And right now I'm going to create my first CSS file for my project. And that's, if you remember in the previous video, we've just created some HTML sample that was a website that contained information about news. But at the list video, I've deleted full project, so I'm going to create a new one. So as you see here, we have totally some meta tags that helps find the website on a Google page, on a first page. Now I will delete that and completely write our first HTML structure. So now I'm going to show you how actually CSS works and what is the difference. What if we added some CSS properties with values to our project, and what changed? So guys, I'm going to show you, that's from the last project. I'm going to show you some website, the best CSS websites. Let's search in Google best CSS website and see there is websites, 30 creative website examples of CSS animation, third best CSS websites, cssawards.com, cssdesignawards.com. You can check these sites and see the difference and see how looks the CSS website and what is main difference within between HTML website and CSS website. So firstly, before learning some web development fundamentals, you have to learn, you have to start with HTML, and then more features coming up with HTML5, and then CSS, CSS3 as well, help you to create some professional websites. So now I've just opened for you awards.com. That's the website where you can find the projects. For these projects, there are more CSS functionalities used, and I'm going to show you one of them and see actually how it looks, and if that is cool for you, so that will motivate you learn CSS, guys. Now I'm going to open up one of them. Let's open up this hello today. That's the, or it is white is transport. No, what is it? What is transport? Hello. Okay, let's open up the hello today. Okay, so that's the website normal. As you see here, there are more colors and some circles with the numbers, and then as you see, we have some just functions that works. Hello today.gp, that's from Japan, I guess. I'm not pretty sure, but I guess, yeah, that's a creative studio. Okay, there were used some CSS transitions, and then some, alright, that click to discover. As you see, that's pretty nice, pretty cool and functional website. Oh, so you can do with CSS all these functionalities. Just CSS will help you to do these simple, let's say, tricks. So now I'm going to show you how we can add the CSS to our project. So I'm going to open up my Sublime text, and let's write my first CSS. So how it works in our project, guys. Within the body, I'm going to open up my h1. That's our CSS. So then I have 1p, and then going to write over here lorem ipsum text, and then close that. I'm going to copy and paste to show you actually how we will do that. Let's say that's our simple HTML structure, and I've just saved that and refresh the page. That's simple HTML structure, a bunch of words and sentences, and then I'm going to add my CSS. How I will do that? So firstly, before starting CSS, we have to create new file for our project. So let's do that, and then open up our new one, and then save that. Where we will save that in this project, in our project, I will save that, and I will call that style dot extension will be CSS. All right, that's our style.css. That automatically changed in the bottom from the right side and at the bottom, as you see here, it was changed to CSS automatically because that's the extension. This extension changes through this part, current extension as CSS. So there are two ways using some CSS in our project. One of them is we can just tell that that's 3 ways, not 2 ways. We can add style within this tag, and otherwise we can open up the right over here style and write our styles, and that's the second way I'm going to show you. H1 color red. Okay, so save that. No, style. And inline, I will just delete that first, and I'm going to show you like that. That's inline. CSS style equals, and then quotes, color. Let's say we want to just do that red. So save that and go. As you see, that's our okay. Now that's our okay. That's our CSS. So CSS can attach to the HTML file, but we can do it manually within all related tags. And inline CSS is used to apply a unique style, single HTML element. Then in this example, as you see here, H1 changed automatically to red. But we can do it in internal ways. How do that actually? And we can just open up after the head, we can open up style tag, and then style. Within the style, I'm sorry, we have to that within the head, okay? after title we can do it, no problem. So style, within the style I can just create some h1 and open up curly brackets right over here, color blue. Okay, I'm going to delete that. I don't want to apply inline one. Now it's internal CSS. Let's see that how it works actually. That's our CSS. That's pretty nice, right? So as you see, we've changed the color of our h1 with the internal CSS. So an internal CSS is used to define a style for a single HTML page, unlike inline CSS. We are creating some tag and style tag. Within the style tag, we do it and write all codes. But if you have bigger file or just a bunch of codes, that's not a good way, that's not good practice to do that. So that's the reason HTML the CSS 3 gave, let's say CSS gave us a third way, that's the external way. And an external style sheet define a style for many HTML pages, and with an external style sheet we can change the look only attaching one link. How we will do that, guys? So within the head tag you can open up the link. I'm sorry, that's the way. So an href equals to our CSS file name. We will do it manually, style CSS, and right now I'm going to work over here, h1 color pink, save that, refresh the page. That's our CSS. So guys, that's the better way, and we will use this way for creating, we will use this external way for creating some giving some styles, giving some changing, giving some views to our website. So first of all, we've learned with you these 3 ways how to attach the files. In the next video I will talk about totally CSS syntax. It's okay right now, I've just written some CSS styles. I gave some just style to my h1, but in the next video we will talk about the CSS syntax, and we will do it more and learn more properties. See you in the next one. Okay, welcome back. Now I'm going to talk to you about CSS syntax in our page, in our project, guys. So in a previous video we've learned about how to attach our CSS to our index.html, and then we've chosen the practical way and the better way, that was external CSS. So I have my now style.css file, and right now I'm gonna just create some styles for my project. So how to do that actually, and then how make actually our websites pretty nice, pretty just give some functions and change the looking of website. Now I'm going to firstly talk about the syntax. And if you remember in the previous video, I've just gave some styles to my CSS. Then I will do it again right now. So firstly, let's write our syntax. So our syntax, firstly we have to write a selector. That's the HTML elements. The selector points to an HTML element in your, if you want to style. That was h1 in a previous video. Now in a selector we have to write some declarations like just property, and then assigning some value to this property. So right now we have selector, property, and value. Let's do it in a practical way and show you again. That's the H1. And then what is our property? Our property is the color, and the value depends on, I can give some blue or green or yellow. Let's write green for this time. Okay guys, now I have H1 with green color. So that's the way actually how change view of websites, how give some styles to our websites by the external way. And that's the syntax of normal CSS. So each declaration includes a CSS property name and a CSS value, as well as separated by colon. Just we can write add in more properties to this H1. So let's say I want to just give some let's say or font size, or let's say I will have just font size 15 pixels. So if you want to change the size of letters, you can use font size, and then you can use the pixels. Then I am going to save that and refresh. That was another version. Just before creating video, I've just made some exercises to show you and choose the better version. So I will show you again this one. Alright, I've refreshed the page. As you see here, I have 20 pixels, 15 pixels. That's not good, and I will do it 35. Okay, not purchasing, saying refresh. That's our CSS. I guess 25, pretty nice for okay, so 25. So guys, I can do it the comment out my selector firstly here. How to do that? If you want to just make unreadable your codes, you know it, do it in HTML, in JavaScript, we will do it in CSS as well. You can write some codes, but do it in unreadable or make some comments. That's the comment. Just we commented out our selected property by slash and star. Start at the beginning and at the end of your selector. Alright, so guys, now comments, that's our comments. So CSS comment starts with slash star and ends star slash. Okay, so that's the main syntax, and I'm going to talk you about some properties in this video. You've seen already just how I've changed my style. All right, now I'm going to talk about now one CSS trick that's much important, and if you gonna just create some big parts, or files, and a bunch of codes with CSS, you should know that absolutely now, and that's important to talk to you about in the beginning of CSS. All right, now I'm going to adding some styles to my paragraph. So let's say I have my color for the paragraph the red, and I'm going to refresh that and refresh the page. So I have red ones because I have three different, let's say different, that's the main text, or three different as a block, three different blocks. Okay, I don't have one P as you see here, I have three different P. Okay, so I've added style, I've added the color to my P. But what is the trick here? If I add the color again, so I'm going to give some, let's say blue. Okay, So save that. Oh, it changed to blue. Why? So I have one red, one blue. That's the CSS rule, main rule, guys. Oh, so I will tell you that with simple words, CSS accepts the last selector with the let's say value, with the correct value. And if you are trying add 1p more and change some color to yellow, CSS will take yellow. Why? Because CSS takes the last one for the same selector. Alright, so guys, don't forget about that if you are writing and then reassigning the values or giving values the same for the same selector. That's the way actually to do that. Alright, now save that and then look. If you would like to change and add or keep red one, the way is adding exclamation mark and important. Okay, so it was highlighted as you see here. Then refresh. So right now red is readable by CSS. So the blue was ignored. All right. So if you want to ignore some different let's say styles for the same selector, you can add some important. All right, but just be careful if you are adding important, because that's a little bit dangerous for the big projects. You can add more values, but then you can forget about that, and then you can add important, and then that will be a little bit confusing and a little bit just dangerous for your project. All right, so be careful every time if you are using your important. So I'm going to show you one thing more here. In each one I'm going to make in the center I have text align property, and I can give center. Okay, center. All right, so centered, and then save that. I have that's our CSS file, that's our CSS, just text and a center. So then I have the border, and I'm going to write some border 2 pixels dashed green. So now I have dashed green, or I can change to it's solid green. So the solid green, that's the way how we can add the same thing for our p tag as well, and then do it for all ones. Okay, so now we have 3 or 4 different borders for our p tags and h1 tags. So guys, that's the properties, and there are more properties actually in our CSS, and you can just learn about the properties in our in some websites. So CSS properties you can write in Google, and then you will see we have more properties like just align content, align items, animation direction, animation delay, and there are more websites like just quokit.com and w3.school. That's our friendly website, that's our friend. Let's talk about this website. That's pretty nice website. You can learn about CSS tricks in this website, and there are more properties you can use and learn how actually they work. So we have background color, and then background origin, background position, repeat as well, and then border. So I'm going to open up, let's say, border. Okay, so border property. As you see here, we have here styling, how we do that. So we have border width, border style, border color. You can learn about how browsers support all browsers support this property or not, and then you can learn description of property, and then you can learn more properties and then see actually how they looks. All right, box sizing, break after, by letter you can just choose, and then exercise, you can see the exercises as well. So guys, I will talk about one website as well. That's, I guess, CSS tricks. Then this website as well, the good way to learn, and then there are more tricks in CSS, and you can find all CSS, interesting about CSS articles. All right, and as you see here, there are fresh articles, and then you can learn about and use these functions, like just choose the letter, and then by letter you can find your main or important or properties. Okay, so that's a little bit friendly website, so you can use this website and then learn, see actually how they works. All right, so that's enough for this video. I will see you in the next one.